Hello everyone, welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot on a glorious Saturday afternoon. Well, not so glorious for some people. I have the Pulpit Tarot on the tarot table today. My theme for the day is choices, life choices, and someone's life choices unfortunately resulted in her untimely demise yesterday, and that would be Virginia Giuffré. And she allegedly unalived herself, I have to use that word unfortunately on this channel. She seemed to be going through some quite serious mental health problems. There was that weird incident with the school bus, and she claimed she had only 4 days left to live, and then that all turned out not to be true. And then we've heard this very sad news, and as I say, she seemed to be in a very bad place. She was estranged from her ex-husband and her children, from what I can tell. I haven't really been following the story. The only reason I'm doing this reading now, very quick reading, just to check in on the situation, is that the conspiracy theorists are out and about and claiming that she didn't do this herself, that this was done by nefarious actors to silence her. And this is based on a post that she put on Twitter saying that if anything happened to her, she wanted it noted that she was not in that state of mind. But that post was 4.5, 5 years ago. A lot can happen in 4.5 or 5 years in someone's life, and certainly a lot has happened in her life in that time. The payout from Prince Andrew, the collapse of her marriage, and whatever else had happened to her along the way. So I'm just going to do a quick check-in, trying to be as sensitive as possible as I can with this story. As I say, choices that maybe were made. Of course, people still waiting for those lists to be published, and hence the suspicion around this story, the dissatisfaction with the way it's been handled by the FBI, the current incumbent in the United States. And of course, Prince Andrew has been angling to reclaim some of his royal privileges, possibly based on the fact that Virginia has been exposed more and more as a liar along the way, allegedly. So there's all kinds of things swirling around this. We're going to ask what her state of mind was. We're going to ask just generally about her passing, if there was anything dodgy about it, suspicious, like happened to J.E. Himself, allegedly, possibly. We're going to ask implications for Prince Andrew. Lady Victoria Harvey has been very vocal about this whole situation. I guess wound up by him and sent out to do his dirty work for him. I don't know, I'm speculating. I need to remind you that this is just tarot, and it's for entertainment purposes, and it is speculation and opinion, only my opinion. I just read energy here, and disclaimer in the box below. So let's see what cards have to tell us about this story. Young woman who got entangled with the wrong crowd, in my opinion, and paid a very heavy price. 10 of Pentacles. There is the heavy price. Big payout, of course. 10 of Pentacles she got. We're not sure. The figure of 12 million has been touted. 12 million pounds. I think it was pounds. At the time, the figure, they've tried to talk it down subsequently and say it wasn't nearly that much. Allegedly also paid out by the late Queen. All rumours, don't know for sure. So I'm just repeating what people have speculated. There's the 10 of Pentacles. That's the big payout, possibly coming from Queen's private funds. We know Prince Andrew is absolutely broke. And that's to maintain the family in its status and privilege and power. It was a very dangerous moment. Prince Andrew's connection with J.E., he was the one that everyone went after, which has of course got the conspiracy theorists talking and speculating about why many other people who were known to have flown on the old Lolita Express to that private island haven't been hounded like Prince Andrew has been hounded, and that was some sort of conspiracy to take the royal family down. I personally believe they have some point. The conspiracy theorists, and the Ten of Pentacles showing up as the underlying energy is establishment, is making damn sure that the family is secure, the generation, that it can, the wealth and the status and the power can be passed along the line, down the line to the next generation, and so on and so on. So it's pretty much maintaining the status quo, but also that huge sum of money speculated again that might have been paid to Virginia Giuffré to keep her quiet, and that there'd been some chatter about trying to claw some of that money back from her in recent times. So that's the underlying energy. What's the situation we're dealing with? And we're dealing with the Knight of Wands in reverse, and fast and furious energy with the Knight of Wands, and we know what happened to him. Very sad story as well. I'm just looking at the car, and of course the death there, and that's kind of playing with fire, that card. For me, it's living a reckless life. Knight of Wands in reverse. The Knight of Wands travels extensively. She did. She enjoyed her life of traveling around, flying to exotic destinations, hanging out with the rich and famous. She did claim that she was trafficked. Other people might say that she quite enjoyed the lifestyle. So there it is, that living fast and loose Knight of Wands in reverse, and of course getting burned by being in that lifestyle, being with the people that she was associated with. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, that Knight of Wands in reverse. I don't think it's a particular person as such. I think it's more a lifestyle. So tell us about her state of mind recently. How's she been doing? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Very negative card. When it's upright, Wheel of Fortune is a great card. It means that you're on the up and up. Life is great and you're in a lucky streak. Everything's going your way. Everything you touch turns to gold. It's in reverse at the time. Everything that was going on in her life was just really, her life was falling apart. It was all going horribly wrong. And as I say, there was talk about trying to claw back some of that money, and that tells me she was in a very negative headspace, very depressed, possibly just looking at her situation and thinking that there was no way out of this, that it was going to be impossible to turn her life around. So it's given me a very direct kind of answer. Very in line with the narrative that we are being told rather than the conspiracy theories. But let's just check the circumstances around her death. I just want to know, just generally. It's a bit of a grim topic, and sorry if it's triggering for anyone. I've got the Queen of Swords in reverse, and that you can read as a very negative action against oneself, a very harsh card, a very cold and calculating energy of self-destruction. That's how I'm going to read that card. Very much so. Upright, it's intelligent, shrewd, strategic, wise, dispassionate. In reverse, it's a very destructive energy, mentally destructive as well as physically destructive. I'm getting a lot of physical destruction in that card, which I normally wouldn't. But I'm the way this is reading, it's a reading, as I say, in terms of what the family has said and what the officialdom has said about the situation. But let's ask the question: anything sus about this that we should be concerned about or dig around and be suspicious about? I've got the Magician, and that is a sus card, very, in terms of look over here and don't look over there. So I think the way I'm going to read this is that it's going to give a lot of fuel to people who want to believe those kinds of narratives. I've got enough going on here for me personally not to read that card in that way, but I can see very clearly with the Magician card that people are going to really go quite strongly in a conspiracy direction with this event, and it's going to gain traction. It's going to be I think a bigger story later on than it is now. I think it's been kind of knocked off the front page. It was headline news, but of course today's a very big day on the world stage because of the Pope's funeral and all the maneuverings around that. So I think this story has been buried, but I think it is going to get noticed again, and it's fuel for anyone who wants to believe this kind of thing. There's going to be enough around it to give them reason to believe. As I say, for me, that Wheel of Fortune in reverse and that Queen of Swords in reverse tell me that this really was something that she did. But the Magician is, as I said, look over here, not over there. Kind of deflection from something can also be quite persuasive. So there might have been quite a lot of psychological pressure put on her with that Magician energy. Quite a lot of, and the Magician is Mercury, of course, and Mercury is the one that travels between the outer world and the underworld, the upper world and the underworld. And there might have been messaging going to her that would have, if she was in a bit of a confused mental state or an unhealthy mental state, that messaging might have been quite influential. That's as much as I'm prepared to say about that card. But as I say, I think people are going to run with this story further on. Prince Andrew, implications for him. Is this going to be his get out of jail card? What's going to transpire for him? I've got the Temperance card in reverse. It's not going to help because it's about harmony and blending, and the angel traditionally in tarot, and so it would be, well, you know, you're a really nice guy, Temperance, but it's in reverse. So I don't think it's going to persuade people that he's on the side of the angels. Let's put it like that. It's more on the side of the devil. His association with J.E., as I said, isn't going to be forgotten, and that was really the thing that did the damage. Turned out to be a much more long-lasting relationship, much more serious relationship than he has let on until now. And of course, there's that book coming, Andrew Loney's book coming, that's going to expose the Yorks. Allegedly, all of the Yorks are going to take a bit of a knock PR-wise with that book. I don't think it's going to help his cause. And if he thinks it's going to help his cause, then he is very much mistaken with that card. It could actually make things worse for him, because people could kind of feel sorry for her, and the finger of blame gets pointed at him again, just when he thought he was out of that situation. So I don't think he's going to come out of the situation looking better. And as I say, that's a very interesting card. We've got some major arcana on the table today, and they're quite interesting ones in the context of the story. And so there you go. I think enough said about this situation, and I feel very sorry for her family, her children, and wish them all the best. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.